Hey everyone, we are going to get started today. We are going to do ELA class for Wednesday, November 18th. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for joining me. We are going to talk about point of view as well as get started on the rough draft of our writing. So first things first, I want you to pause the video and look at this picture. What do you see? So go ahead and pause the video now. Think about what you see. And then when you have it, come back and we'll talk about it. All right. So what do you see? Well, some of you might see a vase, right? The vase is right here in the black outline, right? It's a black vase or a candlestick holder, or you might see two faces looking at each other. So here's the forehead, the nose, the mouth for the first person. And here is the forehead, the nose, and the mouth for the second person. So neither of the things that you see are wrong, but remember, it's all about point of view and what you see. Okay, so we are going to read this story together and figure out our author's point of view. Remember, we have been working on informational texts and thinking about what the author is telling us and figuring out how they feel about a certain topic, okay? So the story says, some people think playing video games is taking away from the amount of time people exercise. But there are many new games and gaming systems that have incorporated movement and can be a great source of physical activity. These games should not replace all outdoor activities, but there are choices to think about when buying your next video game. Okay, so our first question is up here. It says, what is the author's point of view on staying active? What is the author's point of view on staying active? Go ahead, pause the video, take some time to think about it and find your answer, and then come back and we will talk about it. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you worked on finding the answer. Okay, I'm going to use my highlighter here. So what is the author's point of view on staying active? Well, let's go back into the story to see how the author feels, okay? So he says, some people think playing video games is taking away from the amount of time people exercise. So that's not how the author feels. He says, there are many new games and gaming systems that have incorporated or that have added it into their games, right? Movement and can be a great source of physical activity, right? So I'm going to highlight can be a great source of physical activity, right? Games and gaming systems that have incorporated movement, okay, can be a great source of physical activity. These games should not replace all outdoor activities, but there are choices to think about when buying your next video game. So these games should not replace all outdoor activities. So to me, the author's point of view on staying active is that it's very important, right? The author thinks that it's very important, but you can stay active in different ways. You can do it with video games. You can do it you don't want them to replace all outdoor activities, but it's important to know that you can get a variety of exercise from different places, right? So the author is trying to say that staying active is important and you can do it in a variety of ways, in different ways, through gaming systems, right? Through video games, and most importantly, outdoor activities. So is your point of view different? Do you think staying active doesn't matter as much? What do you think? To me, staying active is one of the most important things that you can do in your life. When you're young, it doesn't really matter, right? You're always active. But when you get older, it's very important to stay active and keep your body healthy and fit so that you can live a long and happy life. That's my point of view, okay? I don't think that video games are necessarily the best source of physical activity. I do have a Wii Fit, and I do think that it's an important gaming system. I love it. However, running and being outside, I think is more important and a better way to get physical activity. So I see what the author is saying, and I don't think we disagree. I think I would just put more of an emphasis on outdoor activities. Hopefully you can see where we found the author's point of view on staying active, why it's important, how we know, and that you were able to decide if your point of view is different. Okay? Okay, so now we are going to work on our rough draft. Okay, we're going to work on our rough draft. And for our rough draft, you are going to need all of your notes that we took the last couple of days. So on Monday, we wrote our hook in our topic sentence. Yesterday, we did fact number 1, fact number 2, fact number 3, right? So, and we wrote our conclusion. So I want you to go ahead and get that out for me. And turn to a new piece of paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually write our rough draft. If you are going to type it out, that is okay, but make sure that you are submitting it and you have sentences and it looks exactly how I'm going to write it. Okay? So, let me exit out of here. Okay. And then we will go to our hook sentence. And our hook sentence is, have you ever been in a hurricane? Okay. So, because that's our hook sentence, I'm going to go on my paper and I'm going to write. I see the red line right here. Okay. I need to indent, which means I need to leave a space. Okay. So I'm going to write, I leave a space, capital H, have you ever been in a, so I've run out of space, right? So I'm going to bring that next word all the way to the left. I'm only going to indent the first sentence. Okay, have you ever been in a hurricane? And we have our hook. Notice I didn't write hook and then the sentence. All I need to write for my paragraph is the hook sentence. I don't need to tell the reader that it's the hook. I just need to write the hook. So have you ever been in a hurricane? Okay, now I'm going to go back and find my topic sentence. And my topic sentence says, hurricanes form over warm tropical waters and can have strong impacts on the world around them. I know my reader should know exactly what I'm talking about based on my topic sentence. So, okay, I'm going to go to my paper. And I'm not going to start down here. I'm going to start right here. Leave a little bit of space after my question mark. And I'm going to write hurricanes form over, remember I've got to bring my next word all the way back, warm tropical waters. And can have strong impacts on the world around them. All right, so here we have our hook sentence right here, and then we have our topic sentence right here. If you need some time to put that together, go ahead and pause the video here and make sure you are writing your rough draft. We are writing the rough draft together in class with this video. So please make sure you are doing so. Okay, so next, I'm going to go back to my notes and I'm ready for my first fact. My first fact is in blue, okay? Oops, scroll down a little bit. My first fact is in blue, and it says, first, hurricanes are divided into 5 categories based on their wind speeds, okay? And then I'm going to include my first detail. For example, Category 1 hurricanes have wind speeds between 74 miles per hour and 95 miles per hour, whereas Category 5 hurricanes have wind speeds above 157 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my writing. Okay, and I'm going to write right after the word we just left off, okay? Right after the word we just left off with. I'm going to say, first, hurricanes are divided into, wait a second, let you catch up. Okay, into 5 categories based on their wind speeds. Okay, so I have my hook sentence here, my topic sentence here, and I'm starting with my first fact. Now it's time to go to my first detail. Okay, remember you can pause the video at any time if you need more time. So my detail number 1 is, for example, Category 1 hurricanes have wind speeds between 74, blah, 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 all right here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my next detail right after the word speeds, where I have my period here. I'm going to start my first detail right there. Okay? So I'm going to say, for example, Category 1, I'll do the number 1, hurricanes have wind speeds between 74 mph, miles per hour, and 95 mph, or miles per hour, comma, whereas, which basically means in comparison, whereas Category 5 hurricanes have wind speeds above 157 mph. Okay, I'll let you get all of that down. Remember, you can pause the video if you need to. So that looks like a full paragraph, right? Well, not quite. We only have one detail right here, or one fact, and then one detail to support our fact, okay? So let's do our second fact with our second detail. So our second fact says, next, hurricanes can create lots of damage to towns and cities. Detail number 2 says, an example of the damage is how hurricanes can bring lots of flooding from storm surges and levees breaking. Okay? So I'm going to go back to my writing, and I'm going to say, next, remember, starting it right after my last sentence, right? I'm not going all over my paper and having weird spaces between it. And that goes for when you're typing it out too, okay? Next, comma, hurricanes can create lots of damage to towns and cities. An example of the type of damage is how hurricanes can bring lots of flooding from storm surges and levees breaking, which is what happened in New Orleans, right? The levee broke. Okay. So, hook, topic, first fact right here, first detail, second fact, second detail. Okay. You can pause the video here if you need some extra time. We are going to keep going. So we are ready for our third and final fact. Okay. Fact number 3. Finally, hurricanes do not last forever because they need warm water to continue. In fact, after Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans and the water went away, millions of people came to help rebuild the city. So thinking about this more, what we've introduced is that hurricanes do not last forever because they need warm water to continue. And then we're talking about how people can rebuild. So I think we should kind of reword this. You can do this now while you're doing your rough draft, or you can do it during revision. What I'm going to say is, finally, hurricanes do not last forever, and people can help rebuild after the damage. Okay? So I'm going to say that because we started, it kind of talked about something different, right? Hurricanes don't last forever because they need warm water to survive. However, then we start talking about how Hurricane Katrina, the water went away and then people came to help rebuild. So we want to make sure that our facts and our details are talking about the same thing. Because if they're not, then it's not a very strong piece of evidence. Okay? Okay, final fact. So I'm going to say, finally, okay, finally, hurricanes do not last forever. And people can help rebuild after the damage. How about we say after the storm? Remember, this is our rough draft, so you can cross things out, right? It's just a rough draft. After the storm. Okay. So, ready for our third detail. In fact, after Hurricane Katrina, hit New Orleans, and New Orleans is capitalized because it's the name of a city, and the water went away. Millions of people came to help rebuild the city. Okay, so that is our third and final detail. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Whoop. Sorry, guys. Pause the video if you need to. And get it down. We are going to look at our conclusion sentence. So we're not done until we have a conclusion sentence, which is what we came up with yesterday. We said, in conclusion, hurricanes form over warm waters and are some of the most dangerous forms on Earth that bring a lot of damage with them. Dangerous storms on Earth, excuse me, that bring a lot of damage with them. So as you can see, I've kind of run out of space because I've written pretty big for me. So what I can do, I'm still going to start right here. I'm still going to start after that period, okay? So I'm going to write, in conclusion, okay, in conclusion, hurricanes form over warm waters and are some of, okay, so you can see I've run out of space on this page, right? I don't want to just start writing in the corner. That is not okay. So I'm going to flip the page. Don't worry, I will turn back. Flip the page. I don't have to indent because this is still part of the same paragraph, okay? It's a long paragraph, but it's still part of the same paragraph. So I left off with of, and the next word is the most dangerous storms on Earth that bring lots of damage, or a lot of damage. I wrote lots, but either one works. Damage with them. Okay, so that is our conclusion sentence. After that, your paragraph is done. So I'm going to flip back over. You can pause the video right now and finish your conclusion sentence. Okay. And here is the last part. You can pause the video here. Okay. So last thing you might want to do is give your writing a title. So what I'm going to do, since it's informational, I'm going to write hurricane at the top. Okay, hurricane. All right. So this is the last thing we are doing for reading. You do have to turn this in. I'm going to show you where to turn it in. Okay. So you're going to go to your Schoology page, go to Courses, English Language Arts, it's the book. week number 15. Wednesday, November 18th. And it says, watch the ELA class video, finish working on your hurricane informational writing rough draft that we started in class and turn it in. And so what this video will be linked here. This says turn in rough draft of hurricane informational writing. You're going to click on that. And over to the right, it's going to pop up and it's going to say submit assignment. Okay, submit assignment. That is where you're going to click it. You can either type into the text box or you can upload a picture of your writing. If you followed along and you hand wrote in your notebook, that is perfectly fine and acceptable, and I love to see your handwriting, okay? You just need to take a picture and upload it as a file to Schoology. If you are not sure how to do this, have your parents contact me and I will send them a video on how to submit an assignment to Schoology. Okay? All right, guys, don't forget to turn it in. I will see you tomorrow. Great work. Can't wait to read your stuff. Have a great night.